We are basically having a PC today regarding the latest policy which has been brought in by Mr. P. Chidambaram, and that is about demonetization of currency up to the period of 2005. Uh, the idea is completely inexplainable as to why this has happened, because Mr. P. Chidambaram has been the UPA's finance minister for more than 7 years in this decade of missed opportunities. In this decade, we have seen a slowdown of industry, agriculture, infrastructure, and most projects have been suffering, or rather ailing, from paralysis. Basically, policy paralysis is what has been affected. And this particular regime has also seen the energy crisis, current account deficit, and it has contributed nothing, whether it is skill development or it is real wages to food security. Everything has taken a hit, and the development agenda has come to a standstill, which was the agenda of the NDA. The financial sector has seen a turmoil. NPAs have risen to 1.5 lakh crore. The latest gimmick of the finance ministry's demonetization of currency notes before 2005 is basically an attempt to obfuscate the issue of black money. The issue of black money which is stashed outside the country. The economy has been in a constant downturn motion, and that motion is a motion of decline. The present government is not in a position to measure the correct quantum of black money, because those who have the black money will actually convert it into new currency notes. Now, the sufferers are the aam aurats and the admis, those who are illiterate, who have no access to the banking facilities, and they will be the ones who will be affected by such diversionary measures. People who have small savings, no bank accounts, their life savings will be targeted. The present scheme does nothing to remove black money from circulation. All the black money holders will legally convert their tender with no difficulty, because they have the resources to hire people to sort the cash. Their measure is strongly anti-poor. In India, 65% of the population do not have bank accounts, and they store their money in cash at homes. These people are largely illiterate, poor, older, and live in remote areas. They are the ones who are likely to fall victims to the middlemen, and who are going to further scare them that the notes are worthless piece of paper, and charge hefty fees to convert them. And they could be shopkeepers who will actually after 1st of April be telling them that their notes are either unacceptable or acceptable at a large depreciation. Deliberately, no real effort has been made by the present government to retrieve the black money which is stashed outside the country. In fact, the practices which result in laundering are the ones which are not the target of the present scheme, and I call it a deliberate obfuscation. Deliberate because 3 committees were constituted around the period March 2011. One was NIPEP, that is National Institute of Public Finance and Policy. The second was National Council of Applied Economic Research, that is NCAER. And third was National Institute of Financial Management, NIFM, in Faridabad, Haryana. The multiplicity of committees fails to establish the motivation behind such action. The result definitely is, in such situation, that there is no unanimity either on the definition or on the retrieval mechanism or the estimation of the worth of black money stashed outside the country. There is likely to be a confusion amongst the experts. So one committee fights the second and the second fights the third, and no real effort again is made. And then you have the fourth committee to have a settlement. By then the electoral term gets over. So no effort in reality has been made by the present government to deal with the issue of black money stashed outside the country. And there is no news about the deliberations, if any, have been made by any of these three committees. The tenure of these three committees was 18 months, which has long expired. Nobody knows what was the report submitted, if at all any report was submitted. And in case there is any report which has been submitted, there cannot be any unanimity or further discussion on this subject. An SIT was sought to be created in a PIL, which was filed in the Supreme Court, to deal with the issue of black money stashed outside the country, and which could be Supreme Court monitored SIT. And this government was against the formulation of such an SIT, and again a deliberate attempt to sabotage any real effort which could have been initiated at that point was made by diverting the issue to the constitution of three separate committees on this issue. It is in this context that the action of the present government needs to be appreciated. HSBC bank account and other informations were made available to the present government, yet no criminal prosecution till date has been launched against the holders of such accounts. There seems to be a conspiracy of silence by the present government while dealing with the details as were furnished to the government by HSBC and other details. The only time the RBI had demonetized the currency was in 1978. And it is at that point that 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 rupee notes were withdrawn. And thereafter, a complete new set of notes was brought in 1980, followed by 1987, when a new note of 500 was introduced. The RBI must publish a note on how many currency pieces are going to be affected by the present policy, and how many of these are present in the rural India, and estimate the impact on the poor, the real poor, Aam Aurat and Aam Aadmi, who are stashing their money away in small savings at home, in utensils and things. This is an unjustified attack on the poor people. RBI must conduct a full and impartial inquiry into the impact this is likely to have on the real Aam Aadmi and Aurat of this country. The policy of Mr. P. Chidambaram is only meant for the blue blood and not for the sweating, red-bloodied, toiling millions. It is not going to affect those who have numbered accounts in Swiss banks, but affect those who do not have any bank account even in India. It is not going to affect those who have savings in US dollars, French francs and Deutschmarks, but affect those who have saved every penny in Indian rupees. No wonder Moody's Analytics in their report have reported, if elected, a Modi-led BJP government should offer more business-friendly policy, and that will further support the confidence and investment. The second part of my press brief is about Somnath Bharti. We all know the conduct the gentleman seemed to have engaged himself with regarding the violation of human rights of Ugandan women, and his removal is what is being sought by the BJP. The law has been observed much in breach by the APCON alliance, and it is not being obeyed by this particular alliance. The party has actually conducted its business like a caste leaders party who are above law, who will observe the law in its breach. And the action of Aam Aadmi Party has been defended by none other than some of the well-known Congress leaders. The present Chief Minister is returning a favor by not pressing charges against the previous government, and Somnath Bharti, who has violated the law and is the law minister. The law is what should be observed and take the entire episode to its logical conclusion for such misdemeanor. मित्रों, जो आज का विषय है वो जो आर्थिक व्यवस्था इस देश में पिछले 10 सालों से जिस गैर जिम्मेदारी के साथ निभाई जा रही है, उसी के तहत एक नई पॉलिसी लाई गई है जिसमें 2005 से पहले के नोटों को, करेंसी नोटों को विड्रॉ करने का विषय आज की सरकार लेकर आई है। कहीं ना कहीं ये विषय जो बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है काले धन का, उसको भ्रमित करने के लिए लाया गया है, क्योंकि इससे जो 65% इस देश की जनता है जिसके पास बैंक अकाउंट तक नहीं है और जो अपने पैसे को छोटे छोटे सेविंग के रूप में अपनी जीवन की कमाई घरों में रखते हैं, और जो पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं और दूर दराज में जहां पर बैंक तक नहीं है, उनका जो जीवन की कमाई है वो अफेक्ट होगी, ना कि काला धन। क्योंकि जिनके पास काला धन है और शहरों में है या जिनके पास व्यवस्था है, वो उन नोटों को बदलकर नए नोट जमा कर लेंगे। लेकिन जो गरीब आदमी है, जो असलियत में एक आम औरत और आम आदमी जो कि अपने पति से कुछ पैसा बचाकर शायद आटे के डब्बे में पैसा रखती है या दाल चावल में पैसा छुपा कर रखती है, ये उनकी जीवन की कमाई वो इस अव्यवस्था से प्रभावित होगी। और उस व्यवस्था के तहत जहां पर 3-3 कमेटियां बनाई गई सन 2011 में, जबकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि आप एक एसआईटी हम बनाना चाहते हैं जो कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में काला धन जो कि विदेशों में जमा है उसको वापस लाने का इंतजाम ये सरकार करे, तो उसके खिलाफ ये सरकार ने दस्तावेज कोर्ट में पेश किए और कहा कि हम खुद इस पर काम कर रहे हैं और 3 कमेटियों का हमने गठन किया है। अब वो 3 कमेटियों की जो अवधि थी वो 18 महीने थी, जो कि कब की समाप्त हो गई। लेकिन आज तक उन कमेटियों ने कोई रिपोर्ट सबमिट की है, उस रिपोर्ट पर कोई कार्रवाई हुई है, इसका ज्ञान हमें नहीं है और किसी ने इसको बताने की या उस पर कुछ काम करने की कोशिश भी नहीं की। और ऐसे मामलों में 3-3 कमेटियों का गठन अपने आप में प्रश्न चिन्ह लगाता है, ताकि परिभाषा क्या हो, पैसा जो गैर जिम्मेदार तरीके से विदेशों में जमा है उसको लाने की प्रक्रिया क्या हो, और कितना पैसा जमा है विदेशों में उस पर भी एक मन ना बन पाए। इसलिए आप 3 कमेटियों का गठन करते हैं, क्योंकि अगर आप एक कमेटी गठित करते हैं तो एकदम सर्टेन होता है कि यही होगा, और उसका जो सीधे तौर पर इशारा है वो ये है कि 3 कमेटियां आपस में ही भिड़ती रहेंगी, परिभाषा से लेकर कितना पैसा है और क्या प्रक्रिया हो उसको वापस लाने की, उस पर कोई नतीजा उपलब्ध ना हो सके। और जिस इन्होंने बात की थी रेड आइड की, तो उसके संदर्भ में मैंने कहा है कि जो इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी है इस देश की, वो खाली ब्लू ब्लडेड अमीर लोग जिनके विदेशों में अकाउंट हैं, जो कि स्विस बैंक के अंदर अपने खाते रखते हैं, या तमाम ऐसी जगहों पर जहां पर वो अपने पैसे को या तो डॉलर के रूप में जोड़ते हैं या फ्रेंच फ्रैंक के रूप में जोड़ते हैं या डॉइच मार्क के रूप में जोड़ते हैं, वही लोग हैं जिनका जीवन इससे प्रभावित नहीं होगा। लेकिन जो गरीब अपनी एक एक पैसे को हिंदुस्तानी रुपए के रूप में जोड़ता है और उसके जीवन की जो कमाई है वो 65% भारतीयों का जीवन इससे प्रभावित होगा। और ऐसे में ये जो पॉलिसी है ये काले धन से जूझने की नहीं, बल्कि काला धन कैसे ना लाया जाए उसको भ्रमित करने के लिए, अव्यवस्था पैदा करने के लिए बनाई गई है। और ऐसे ही माहौल में ये जानना भी आवश्यक है कि जो मूडीज एक रेटिंग एजेंसी है अमेरिका में, उनका ये मानना है कि मोदी जी लेड जो सरकार होगी वो बेहतरीन अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए और भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था पर काम करेगी और उसी अर्थव्यवस्था के तहत भारत की बेहतरी भी मुमकिन है। अब जो दूसरा पक्ष मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहती हूँ वो सोमनाथ भारती जी, जो कि कहने के लिए कानून मंत्री हैं दिल्ली सरकार में, लेकिन सब उन्होंने गैर कानूनी तरीके से कानून व्यवस्था को अस्त व्यस्त किया और युगांडन महिलाओं के प्रति जो पुलिस को मजबूर किया कार्रवाई के लिए, वो बताता है, दर्शाता है कि कानून को सक्रिय होकर जो कानून के तहत उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए और तब तक उनका इस्तीफा भारतीय जनता पार्टी मांग करती है।